Hello friends, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about how all things are possible to God and to him that believes. This is a very important point because Jesus made this point, and many people think, well, all things are possible for God. You know, God's the creator, he can do all things. But they failed to realize that so often Jesus didn't say, God healed you. He said, your faith has made you whole. And the reason was not to take glory away from God. It was to show man that if he would believe, if he would have full faith and confidence, he could have whatsoever he believeth. And Jesus taught that numerous times. And so often it is ignored today, or it's relegated to just, well, I hope this can happen. Hope is not belief. Hope is not faith. Hope can lead to faith, and hope can be valuable in some cases. But just hoping something's going to happen is not believing. And in Mark 10:27, Jesus says this, with men it is impossible, but not with God. For with God all things are possible. So many would just stop there and think, well, it's only with God that all things are possible. But Jesus didn't limit it to only God. He also said in Mark 9:23, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. So if you can believe whatever you're seeking, whatever you're asking God for, if you can believe, you will have it. All things are possible to him that believeth. So in the situation of all things being possible, the only individuals that this is true for is God and the person who believes. You're at the same level in that sense that God has given you that dominion, that kind of power, because we're created in his likeness, in his image. So why would we not have some of the same abilities he has that he's given us? Because he wanted us to be like him, the only creation that was in his image and his likeness. So as his children, we can believe and all things are possible to us. As his children, we can speak and expect that what we believe will come to pass because all things are possible to him that believes. God hasn't left us empty, left us void, left us like the brute beast wandering around, wondering what we're supposed to do with no power, no influence, no authority in this life. He's given us great power, and it comes through belief. If you can believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. But here's something very important. It works both ways. People think this only works for good things. We believe for something good. No, if your life is going in a negative way and you keep believing for negative things, well, you know, things just never work out for me. I always get sick. Every time the flu season comes, I get and you say all these things about yourself and you believe them, you're going to get those things too. Because this is not God answering prayer as much as it is a power God has gifted us, being created in his image, that if we believe something, and we truly believe it and hold to that in our heart, we're going to get it. And that includes negative things that we don't really want. So you have to cast that nonsense out. Get rid of all that negativity and only believe for the things that you truly want in your life. And if you believe, all things are possible to you. There's no limitation. Just as there's no limitation on God, he's given you the power, the authority in this life that all things are possible to you because you believe. Now some of you say, well, all things, that can't really be true. If I believe for $100 million, will I get it? Well, you've already set yourself up for a no. Absolutely not, because you don't believe. But yes, all things are possible. Now I want to give you some examples of people and what Jesus said to them, because people want to throw everything on God. They want to throw all responsibility on God for their lives. Then when things don't work out their way, well, must not have been God's will. Well, you know, God must have had a plan. Well, there's always a plan. Everything that happens for a reason. All this nonsense Yeah, everything that happens for a reason, but many times the reason is your bad thinking. Your mindset's wrong. You are focused on negativity. You're believing for things that go against God, that go against you, that go against your fellow man, and that's what you get. It's not God's fault. Stop blaming God. Stop saying, well, I can't get this. I don't know why. It must not be in God's will for me. No. You are the problem. Stop blaming God. Stop casting all your blame upon God. You cast your cares upon Him, not your blame. In Matthew 9:22, Jesus says this, "Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole." Matthew 15:28, Jesus says, "O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt." As you will, be it unto you. Mark 5:34, Jesus says this, "Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague." Mark 10:52, "Go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole." And it goes on and says, "And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way." Luke 7:50, Jesus says to the woman, "Thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace." Luke 8:48, "Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace." Luke 17:19, "Arise, go thy way. Thy faith hath made thee whole." Luke 18:42, "Receive thy sight. Thy faith hath saved thee." My friends, over and over again, Jesus stresses that these individuals, because of their great faith, they were saved, they were made whole, they were healed, they received their sight, they were forgiven. All these things because they had great faith. Their faith made them whole. Their faith has saved them. Their faith didn't fail. Their faith brought about the results they believed for. And Jesus taught this so many times, and this was why he kept saying this, to teach people that if you believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. If you will believe and you'll have faith, and stop having faith in the things you don't want, but have faith in the things you do want, you will have whatsoever you believe for. And in the reality, you have what you believe for anyway. Your daily life is an example of what you have going on in your faith. What you see in your life is what you've believed for. What you see in your life is what you have been thinking on, meditating on, believing for. You may say, well, I pray for this. I don't want this to happen, but it keeps happening to me. Well, where is your faith? What are you really believing for? Because too often people pray one thing and then they expect something different. They pray in hope, not in faith. And repeatedly we see over and over again that if you believe, if you'll have faith, anything is possible for you. As it being created in the image of God, you have that same power that he has granted you, that he has within himself, to believe and to receive what you believe. When God was creating, he spoke something. He said, let there be light, and there was light. He had faith that what he would say would happen. God didn't speak, let there be light, and then wonder if there's going to be light. As the creator, as all power, he knew it would happen. And he's given us this power. If we'll believe, anything we believe and have faith for will happen. All things are possible to him that believeth. My friends, I pray it's been a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.